Okay, in this next section we're going to be talking about pronunciation of hangeul. I'm going to go through the basic consonants and also the basic vowels that you'll need to know to be able to read and pronounce hangeul correctly. Now, it's really important that you get on with this straight away. You get a grip on this because it's essential that we get past Romanization, which really does not give you an accurate guide of how to pronounce Korean. Before we go through individual consonants and vowels, I'd like to point out I'm not a native speaker, as you can see, so I recommend this website, which is an excellent learning tool for you, called Hangeul Pronunciation. I hope this is you'll be able to hear this nicely. If we just go back, this is what the front of the website looks like. Okay, so when you type in the URL, you'll come up with Pop in Korea. So Pop in Korean, and the pronunciation, just press play, and you go. I recommend this section, Hangeul Pronunciation, and there we are. It's going to give you a guide to the pronunciation if you don't really trust me. Just type on a consonant, 기억, there we are. Nian. It shows you exactly where the sound is produced in the mouth. Very nice. No sound there. Put in. That's lovely. You've got a little tool there. It's very easy to follow. So use this for tensed and aspirated sounds. Okay, and then you can go back and try vowels if you want. And here it gives onset, it gives it initial or first, the pronunciation of the first consonant. Here it has the pronunciation of final position consonants. So if they're not at the start of a syllable block, they're at the end, what the pronunciation is. So if you're unsure, how do I pronounce this character in the syllable block? What happens if nian is at the end? How do I pronounce it? For example, in the syllable block han, as in hanguk. What about this iang, which had no sound? How do I pronounce it if it's at the end of the syllable block? So, for example, hang or kong hang, kong. Okay, so it's a really useful tool. Let's have a look at some vowels. Oh no, I can't remember how to pronounce this one. What is it? What about this one? Oh, I don't know. What's the difference between oo and this one? There we are. And it's showing you how to form your mouth when pronouncing these vowels. So, what happens if I add a line? Okay, it becomes you sound. Oh, excellent. Right, got it. Oh, how do I pronounce this one again? How do I pronounce this one?
음,
Okay. Oh, no. What about this one? What about this one? How do I pronounce that?
에,
There you go.
에,
Money in the bank. Fantastic. So let's have a look at some whole syllables then. And this is the good. You can test yourself. So first go in here and that's what So here we are. If we add
합,
we add here to ha, it becomes ha. What about this? What if we add neon? What's the sound?
한,
Yeah. What if we add real?
할,
Okay, I think this is going to, if I add this one, it's going to be ham.
함,
There you go. If I add Ian, it's going to be ham.
항,
Yeah, I'm right. Okay. So this is a really useful tool. You can test yourself, you can check the pronunciation, so I recommend this. Okay, so let's go back to our slideshow then. We're going to be looking then at vowels to start off with, and I'll make this a little bit bigger for you to see. Let's start first with some of the simpler sounds. Okay, starting from top to bottom, let's pronounce these vowel sounds. And just bear in mind that the English word that's given there is just a guide. It's not 100% accurate. It's just a guide to give you a rough idea of how to pronounce these vowels if you're not familiar. So start off at the top. Ah, as in mark. Next one down. Air, as in fair, air. Next one down, air, air. It's often not really distinguished between with the previous one. And then next one down, horizontal, or, as in hope. Next one down, or, as in offer. Next one down, oo, as in wool. Ooh. Next one down. Kind of schwa sound. Next one down. E. Quick summary of those sounds then. Practice saying them. Ah, o, oo, E, 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 and what happens if we add another line to the A, O, U, E, we introduce the Y sound. So adding another character becomes ya, yo, you, yeah. Okay, another sort of principle, if you like, is how you pronounce the W sound. So by adding an U or O to A, and E, you make a W sound. I'm just going to pronounce the first one, the second, and the third if you go from top to bottom. So the first one, wa. Second one down, where. Okay, and I'm going to go straight to the bottom. The final one is we. and the ones in the middle tend to seem to have a fairly similar pronunciation. So it's just so you get your idea about the principles of pronunciation. So here's a summary of all those different vowels put together. Remember, adding an extra line and you get a y sound. Adding an o or u and you get a w sound. So basically 4 types of consonant in Korean that we're going to be looking at, and that they have: continuous sounds, relaxed and momentary sounds, breathy sounds and tense sounds. Let's have a look at some ideas behind these. When we say continuous sounds, we're referring to sounds that you can maintain for a continuous period of time. For example. Now in English you have this contrast between voiced and unvoiced consonants. For example, pig, p, and b, which has got some sort of addition of the voice. P, no voice. B, you have a voice, and so on. In Korean, the most important contrast is not between voiced and unvoiced so much as between momentary sounds or relaxed sounds like b, da, b, da, or breathy sounds, sounds that come with a strong puff of air and maybe a little bit of spit as well. P, t, p, t. And then tense sounds, sounds that as though you're trying to get out 2 consonants at the same time. That requires more pressure, and you tense those muscles around your vocal cords, so it's very tense. G, 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 d, d. Tensing up those muscles. I'm exaggerating, of course, but just to give you an idea. Let's have a look at some of those continuous sounds then first. So, and you'll notice next to the Korean character, I've put the actual what the name of the character is, and you'll see that it begins and ends with the same sound of the character. So miam. So, and this pronunciation is just as in mother, continuous. Nian, as in nose, sheared, and then eung. Eung's important because there are 2 very important pronunciations of this. When it's in the final position, it has some kind of sound. So it's as in song. But when it's in the initial position, at the beginning of a syllable consonant, there's no sound. So it's just ah here. Let's move on then to look at sounds that are formed in the same part of the mouth, that are on one hand relaxed, that are breathy, and then that are tensed. Starting off with the relaxed sound, digit, which is pronounced as in tall. Dear, dear, doll. It's like saying doll. And then we have the breathy sound, t, t. Get some air there, t, as in talk, t, talk, t. And sang digit. So this is the tensed sound, as like you're saying da, 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 but not with the air that you get with t. Okay, moving on now to another consonant produced at the front of the mouth, the lips, biab, which is just pronounced relaxed as in park, but much more relaxed, bark. It's like saying bark, Bark. Piop, which is breathy. P, p, as in pow, pow. And then sangbiop, which is tensed. So as if you're saying spa, but no air. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, moving on to kiok. And this we pronounce something like gis, gis. Kiok, breathy. Kill, kill. So you get a bit of spit there. Sangyok, which is tensed. So as in skill, gill, gill, gill. There's quite a difference between these three. Moving on to jiat, which is as in Jill, Jill, cheered with some air, change, change. Sangjiat, which is as in McJagger, Jagger, McJagger, Jagger. Just to give you an idea of the sort of summarise how logical it is in many ways. There you are, you have the sounds produced with the lips, m, b, with breath, p, tensed, b, and then produced with the tongue near the teeth, na, na, da, momentary with breath, t, t, and then tensed, d, d, and then moving down to the sounds made with the tongue against the palate of the mouth, shit, ch, ch, j, and then sort of glottal stop, glottal sounds made in the throat. Good, good. You can feel the sound coming out there. Good, and then with breath, and then sort of tensed. Good, good. So there we are. You can see how logically it's laid out, which is why Koreans think of it as a very scientific language, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Okay, just to summarise all those vowels and also all those consonants together, here's a nice little handy way to think of them. A good way to try and memorise the sounds and put a sort of mental image of the sounds, if you like, is to carry around this little image and try and practice as you go along. Get to grips with Hangul as fast as you can. It is fun.